Chapter 8, Section 10, Translations, Reflections, and Rotations. A transformation is a change in the position or orientation of a figure. An image is the resulting figure after a transformation. So the types of transformations, let's start with our skate. It just moved or slid across the page. So a slide is called a translation. I remember the SL for slide is in the word translation. It is not turning at all. It simply went horizontally across the page. Now this skate didn't just slide, it did what we call a flip in elementary, and our word for flip is now reflection. A flip across a line of reflection, and it of course created a mirror image. Our toes were here and now they're here. Here's our heel and here's our heel. This skate did something along this center point here. It did a rotation. It turned around this fixed point. Heel was down on the ground, now it's at a 90-degree angle. Toes were up, now they're on the ground. Now we're going to look at different types of transformations. Let's see if we can identify them. Here is our original shape. It's the red one, A, B, C, D. It did something to get over here, to be named A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. Well, it jumped across this y-axis, so I would imagine that it is a reflection. We really can't see it. Right down there it does say reflection. This one went from the red figure, ABC triangle, up to A prime, B prime, C prime. It did a slide, so it is a translation. And it does say translation down there, just getting cut off for some reason. There we go, now we can see it better. So next page. A point that a figure rotates around can be any place on the figure or away from the figure. We'll see examples of those later on. Okay, so now let's graph something. We want to take quadrilateral ABCD and move it 4 units to the left and then 2 units down. So I'm going to choose a point and do that to each point. 4 units left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 down. Now it was A. It's going to stay A with the prime mark now. I'll do the same thing with B. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. 1, 2 down. This was B. Now it's B prime. I'll take point C. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. 1, 2 down. That was C. Now it's C prime. And now let's do D. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. And 1, 2 down. It was D. Now it is D prime. So when I connect all my points, I have a new image that has just been slid 4 to the left and 2 down. And there it is. Let's try another one. And as you've been hearing me say A prime, that is used to represent our image that we make after we move the original figure. So let's graph this. We're going to reflect it across the x-axis. So here's our x-axis. So we need to take it and move it to the other side. So now our x-axis is what we're deciding how we're going to move it. It's up 1, so I move it 1 to get there and 1 to go away. So my new A is A prime. It was 1 up, now it's 1 down. Well, D's going to stay there because it can't move. It's not up or down. It's still on X, so he'll stay there. C, to get down to X, I move, so I'll move it 2 away. And that is now C prime. And I do have a D prime here. I just didn't label it, did I? So now A to D prime to C prime, and C prime to A prime. So here's my sloppy but new triangle. So there is our new image. We had to make sure it was along the x-axis. That's very important. Which do they want you to reflect it across? Oh, we forgot to put our coordinates. So A was 1, 2, 3 into the negative and 1 down for 1 negative. D stayed at 0, 0, D prime. And C went 2 into the positive and 2 into the negative. So let's try this. We're again reflecting along the x-axis. So here's our x-axis. We want to end up on the other side of it. So A can't move. It's not up or down, so it just becomes A prime for my new one. And C is the same way. It can't go up or down. It is on the X, so that's C prime. But B is going to move. It was 1, 2, 3 on top, so now it'll be 1, 2, 3 below. And that will be B prime. So let's name our coordinates. A prime, B prime, and C prime. Well, A is over 1, but it stayed at 0. C is over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Didn't move, so it stayed at 0. And let's see what B did. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down. So 3 to the positive and 3 into the negative. Now I'll connect my points and make my reflected triangle. Oh, we're right on top of theirs. And there's our coordinates. Just like we said they were going to be. All right, this time, be careful, they have chosen the y-axis this time. So here's my y. So it started here, and we're going to go over to there. So A can't move. It's on the y. It's not in front or behind it, so it has to stay and now gets a new name, A prime. Well, B is going to have to go across the y 1, 2 places to get there. So 1, 2 places away, B prime. And C, 1, 2 to get to the y, 1, 2 to walk away from it, C prime. So I'm going to connect my points on my grid and have a reflection. So let's do A prime. Well, he didn't move any, so he's at 0, 0. B prime, I move 1, 2 into the negative, 1, 2, 3 up, so negative 2, 3. And C prime, I move 2 into the negative, and then 3 down into the negative. So let's see if we are right. 0, 0, negative 2, 3, and negative 2, negative 3. That is the end of section 8-10.